and welcome to Wedflics. I'm Julia Braime, I'm your host. I'm the editor of UNVEILED magazine, the luxury wedding magazine, and the founder and editor of Brides Up North, the top wedding blog for northern couples. Today on the programme, we're welcoming a lady who loves her neons. It's Stacy from Love Lights the Way, the lighting and prop hire specialist. Now, Stacy and I could chat for days. And we probably would do if our batteries weren't going to run down. So we get to everything in this episode, from styling up your aisle to your after party and everything in between. Look out for some trend tips and some big news from Love Lights the Way too. Enjoy it. So hi Stacey, welcome to Wedflics.
Hi Julia, I'm glad to be here. Thanks for having me.
It is lovely to have you here. So Stacey's background looks like some sort of Club Tropicana going on here, and we'll find out why in just a minute. So Stacy, do you want to introduce yourself and your business to us?
Yes, so I'm Stacy. Most of you will know that I'm only half of Love Lights the Way. So I'm the founder and co-owner of Love Lights the Way. So I cover Manchester, Cheshire, kind of north up the M6 and then a bit further down south. And then the other half of me is Charlotte, who covers our Yorkshire area. So there's two of us currently, and we are basically the ever evolving Love Lights the Way.
And so what does Love Lights the Way do?
So we supply bespoke and really beautiful props for your wedding. So we have the large and small light up letters, so for your first and surnames or your love hearts. We have bespoke backdrops, plenty, so we have tons of them. We have festoon lighting for your outdoors or even indoors these days. And our most recent addition to our portfolio, I suppose you would say, is our neon lighting.
Yeah, we love your neon lighting. We love all of it, really. I've had the pleasure of working with you on a lot of styled shoots for our magazine Unveiled.
Yeah.
And actually at wedding shows, because I don't actually get to go to the weddings. That's the only bit we don't get to do. And online stuff. But we've had the pleasure of really seeing the whole range of your projects, and at parties and things that we've borrowed them and had them for and paid for them for, really.
Yes.
So everything from the traditional love letters, which are now, we know what those are, all the way through to the brand new bespoke neons, and everything you do is always super good quality. And that's why we've got you on the show. So
yay! We do love to make sure that all of our products are beautiful. Like, they are just really special to us as well. They're our babies, they travel in carpeted vans, and some of my products don't even go into the warehouse. They sit in my office, which is getting a bit crammed now because I have my husband in here as well. But yeah, so we really do. We love all of our products, and we don't have anything in our product range that we don't love and that we don't think is fabulous, because your wedding is very much our wedding. Our strap line is, we light up your big day your way, and that has always been the case. Since day one, it's always been the case. So we do love to make sure that they are really good quality. It's really important to us.
You give them names, right? She's not just saying it, she's getting names.
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
Tell us some of their names.
No, I do love
Roxy.
Yes,
I know their names.
Some of them are, yeah. So my very first ever product that I designed and named was a 3-foot rose gold love heart.
That's Roxy.
No, that's Lola.
Oh, right.
That's Lola.
Okay.
And the reason Roxy's the neon love heart that we have, the colour change. So she was also one of very first out there. She was quite leading because we were one of the first to have the colour change. So the neon ultra. So she is multiple colours, so you can have a white for your daytime, and then you can have we've had it behind DJs, flashing, kind of like the really flashy zobe lights that you get. So that's pretty cool. But then Lola, she was my first one that I ever named, because I wanted to name my first child Lola, my first little girl, but David, my husband, wouldn't let me. He said it just reminded him of Lola the showgirl.
Yeah.
So as soon as I designed, as soon as we designed and got her sprayed, and I looked at her and I was like, oh, it's Lola. she's been Lola ever since. I like my bride's book her as Lola. Everyone knows her as Lola. People send me pictures and they go, "Oh, look at Lola! Doesn't she look beautiful?" And I love it. It's like, oh,
Lola is a showgirl as well, isn't she? That's the thing.
She's a total showgirl.
Yeah, she is.
And we have Dita, we have Roxy, we have Lola, we have like Bohemian gypsy names on some of our festoon lights. So yeah, we're always quite keen to get input on names as well, because we like you to buy into them. Like, we want you to love them just as much as we do. So yeah, if you've got any ideas on names, we're always happy to have them pinged over to us.
I think you should have a Lulu.
Next. Lulu! Yes!
Yeah. Lulu was my baby name that I wasn't allowed.
Oh, is it? Yeah,
so we had
maybe
to have
I should start
we had Lily, not Lulu.
Yeah, start that. Children's names that were always poo-pooed. I'll take them all.
I just use it as a nickname. You should just call Bo Lola as a nickname. That's what I got.
She knows. Bo knows. She goes, "This is Lola. I should have been Lola." And I'm like, "Yeah, you should have been." Oh. But, you know.
So let's go right back then.
Yes.
How did Love Likes Way start?
So I, like most creatives that I bump into, especially in the wedding industry, used to work very corporate jobs, and I did the same. I spent a lot of time on the road, up and down. It was quite a masculine environment that I worked in, and I got pregnant with my first, Bo, should have been Lola, and then I got pregnant with my second, and I just thought, God, I just don't know whether I can do this. I can't take the hours and the workload, and you know, it's really hard to not see your kids when they're that small. So I really wanted to do something, and a friend of mine had mentioned, why don't you get into the wedding industry, and you know, you're really stylish, and whenever you style a party or anything like that, it looks great. And I thought, oh, do you know what, yeah, I'd really love to do that. And I would never be able to do it in a normal situation where you have to earn money and you have to pay your bills, but when you're pregnant and you get maternity leave, and I thought, do you know what, I'm not scared of hard work. I could, you know, maybe give this a go during my maternity and see if I could make it work. And it kind of gave me a little bit like sort of 12 months to mess up, and maybe it wouldn't go right. And of course it didn't. I loved it. It was the best thing I ever did. My creative vibes just kind of exploded, and we started off with just the light up letters, which was amazing and still is our bread and butter product. They're just an essential must have in most weddings now. First dance with surnames are awesome. And then it grew, and then I got a really good joiner that I work with, and she's been designing with me ever since day dot, which is really good because I can kind of give her some really ropey drawings and sketches that I do, and we have a chat, and I explain to her how I want it to work and how I see it looking, and then, you know, she delivers amazing products that we now hire out for all our brides, which to me is amazing to see. So it worked, I loved it, and we've been doing it ever since, 5 years later. So we just celebrated 5 years. And then
Charlotte joined you quite soon afterwards.
Yeah, so Charlotte then joined. So from us kind of setting up shop sort of 2015, Charlotte then joined mid 2016. So it was really exciting because I was getting loads of inquiries for a distance that I just couldn't travel because I had 2 small kids, and I didn't want to go back to not seeing them again, but I really did want to deliver these weddings. And Charlotte came to me and she said, I'd really love to give this a go. And so we sat down and we had a chat, and it just felt like the right thing to do. So yeah, she opened up Love Lights the Way branch in Yorkshire. And since then, she's been a huge influence in the company, and we're now looking at opening more branches.
Exciting.
A little bit of gossip there for you, Julia.
We love an exclusive here at Unveiled, don't we? Do you want to talk about that, or should we keep it as gossip?
No. Well, we kind of have given a little bit of an inkling on our Instagram. So if you do follow us and you're on our mailing list, then you will kind of already know this news. But if you're not and you don't, then you won't. But our next branch is going to be in Ibiza. And yay! I'm like, I know. Honestly, me and Charlotte love Ibiza. We genuinely do. We've got so many things in common. which is probably why we work so well together. We are very different as well, but we both love Ibiza. Our families both love Ibiza. Our kids, if you ask our kids where their favourite holiday place is, they'll say Ibiza. It's just such a beautiful
they've been
place.
brainwashed.
Yeah, brainwashed, totally. Where do you want to go, kids? Tell your dad. Yeah, so they love it as well. We love it. And it just felt like a really natural progression, to be honest, which sounds weird to say that's a natural progression for our next branch when there's so many more cities in the UK we could do. We do have them on our hit list, but Ibiza has just happened at the right time, and we already have our franchise owner. He's called Richard. He is amazing. He's currently runs boat package holidays. He has got contacts with villas and amazing, beautiful, large Airbnbs. He is the man to know on the island, and he is raring to go. We literally were about to launch just before lockdown, so obviously it did get shelved for all the right reasons, because it's just not the time to do that. But I think that actually, coming on the spin-off of this lockdown and trying not to get too much of a serious conversation going, there's going to be a lot of restrictions on weddings, and we can't really get around that, can we? And it's something that we're going to have to learn to live with. And we are going to find ways for people to have amazing weddings. Of course, we are in England, but I also think it's going to spur people on to potentially look to go abroad, because outdoor weddings, you're going to be able to get bigger numbers. And I think as long as there's not huge quarantine issues between the likes of the UK and Spain, then I think a launch next year is going to be something that's going to be quite exciting, and maybe it was just meant to be to wait that year.
Yeah, I think so. I think in quite a lot of situations we have to just think it was fate and we have to wait, and that goes for couples getting married as well. Like, it's another year to plan, it's another year to check you like each other, because that's important.
Number one.
But it's another year to save as well for something that you might not have been able to afford before and really wanted. And I know it's such a disappointing time for couples, but try and see the silver lining and it'll keep you sane is what I would be suggesting. Because otherwise you can just go down that rabbit hole of upset, and this is meant to be a happy time, so try and keep it as happy as possible and stay organised and stay on top of things. But
we've had some really good conversations with our brides, and when this all kind of first kicked off, I just thought, oh my God, what is going to happen? And we tried to stay as positive as we could, and we sent an email out to all our brides, and we've kind of staggered them on people's wedding dates, and everyone has honestly been just amazing. I mean, we must have the best brides that out of anyone. I mean, like, our brides are better than your brides, they must be, because they've all been so positive, and everyone's postponed, and we've honoured everyone's dates. We've had one cancellation, and that was it was outside of their control, and they just had to go with a full cancellation, and that's it. Everyone else has postponed, and everyone's really looking forward to their next date, and so are we. And I think you're right. People are now starting to think, right, what else can I add on, because I've got another 12 months of saving. I really wanted this, but couldn't quite manage to get it in my budget. Now I can. And so I think it's exciting.
More neons.
I can't wait for next
year.
Neons.
More neons. An Ibiza leg to the wedding, honeymoon, whatever.
We could even do your after party at the White
My God, can't wait for then. I'm coming too. I'm coming for your lunch party in Ibiza next year. I'm going to shoot it for a name. Okay, that's the deal. So tell us. So we briefly touched on the sorts of products you have. So just in brief, tell us what products you offer, and what you love about each one, and what gives them the edge.
So I really love our backdrops, namely because they do. So we work with a lot of venues that we get a lot of repeat custom at. So there's some venues that we spend a lot of time at. There's other venues that we'll just go to, kind of sparsely throughout the year. But I get a lot of my design creation ideas, so to speak, from influences from venues that we visit, and the design and the colours and the you know, maybe sometimes the historical shapes of the buildings, or maybe even just how they design inside. And we're really lucky that we get to go to some really beautiful venues, so we get loads of inspiration from that. I do love the outdoors. We're very much an outdoor family, and I do tend to like bring that into my products as well, because we do try and, if we can, create some products that can go outdoors, because there are a lot of people who do desperately want to have an outdoor ceremony. So we try our best to try and get a few products that we can. You know, our weather's not great, although at the minute it's amazing. It almost is like we're in Spain. And I just really love the flexibility of backdrops, how you can use them for so many different things throughout your day. You can have them, you know, basically walk down the aisle and frame the very start of your journey, and then you can change them up, be that whether it's really lovely Edison lighting to add in some neon or coloured bulbs. Like one of our latest products that we have that I am obsessed with, and I have to really stop myself getting them out into my garden because they are really expensive bulbs, and probably my 5-year-old will just smash football at them within a second. We have some huge, massive pastel ombre Edison bulbs. They've literally been out like twice since lockdown. I'm so glad I got them out there though, because I've got some lovely images, but they are just stunning. They're so pretty, and they look so different in the day that they do in the night. So I think the backdrops are my favourite. And I designed a hexagon backdrop. I don't even know how many years ago it was.
I think it was. So issues wise in Unveiled, I think we're issue 9.
Because that was one of the because every year I try and design a new backdrop that gets like an exclusive reveal in the Unveiled January edition, so the shoot that we do with you for that year, and that was one of them. And she's out constantly still to this day. She's so busy, and we've had to make 2 and 3 of her, but the thing is that we never make too many, so we only ever at one time have one of those frames going between each. So we have 2, one for Cheshire, one for Yorkshire, because the other thing we don't want to do is we don't want to do en masse. So we don't want all of our weddings having 7 geo frames and having 7 similar images. So we purposely make our backdrops, and we make them all the time, and we design new ones so that you can always have that something different. And also we work with really good florists and really good event dressers that make them look so different. So each time we get images back from them, they just look totally like a new product, like you've never seen before. And you can have our products totally stripped, so you can have them with no florals and they still look lovely, or you can totally go mental and create a botanical wonderland on them and they look totally different.
One of my favourite backdrops of I've got a few favourites. I really like your sort of Edison-y backdrop, like the sort of Edison-y thing.
Yes.
Is that right? Yeah. And then I also, but one of my favourite ones is the A-frame, just plain A-frame. Yay. It's very kind of, it's almost like pagan looking in a way, isn't it? Like really boho A-frame. And we did a shoot with that at Iscoid. Wasn't it amazing? We just flowered it up with florals from Sandy at Sam Green, and it was just super luxe. So it went from kind of like this boho vibes, and you could have done it with pampas grasses or lunaria or whatever, and then we flowered it up in a way that took it to like a really sort of high end vibe, wasn't it? And it just
it was beautiful. And she went the botanical wonderland bonkersness on that, and she's one of the she's one of the ones that I remember dressing one of our frames. There's a few florists that stand out on images that I've got of our products that I just think, oh my god, it's amazing. Like I literally put that image on Instagram and I get a flood of messages saying, does it include this, does it include that? And I'm like, unfortunately not, you will have to get those flowers yourself, but we can still make it look beautiful. So yeah, that was good. The weather was nice. The models, oh my god, those 2 girls were stunning.
Yeah, we've used them, both of them again, both of those models. We like to reuse our models. We like our Unveiled girls to come back to us. We have a bit of a family thing going on. We had Lydia on the front cover, actually, of issue 12.
Which one?
She's on the front cover I've got a stack of them in front of me, which are propping up my video. So it's the cover with all the balloons. So she's on the front cover of that.
Both those girls were stunning. They just smashed it every time because we had neon on that shoot as well.
Sky's back actually in issue 12 as well with our Ellingham horse shoot. So yeah, they both came back. So, but they look so different in every shoot, the models, because we use professional models. I
really want that A-frame to go back into its coid, but at the you know, at the end of the aisle where they've kind of got that opening that is just flooded with light, and I just think it would look really lovely there, and that would be really nice to kind of walk down the aisle and get married in front of that. But yeah, honestly, you can make them your own, and our brides do, and that's what another thing that I love about our brides is that they know, some of them know what they want, some of them don't, and that's equally as lovely because we love chatting weddings anyway, so we can't quite like to send our brides as many images as we can so they can put them on their pin board, you know, they can kind of get those ideas, they can start, we always ask them to start off with a huge wish list, and then we kind of work backwards to figure out what's going to work with your space, what's going to work with your budget, you know, what can we make the most out of, what can we move around, what can we change, what can easily be adapted. And you know, a lot of our backdrops get used as nighttime photo frame, you know, like photo booths, like DIY, but not in a trashy DIY sense, because everybody loves to have a little bit of involvement and kind of, and I always think that's probably the best book you're going to read, even above your album, because
definitely.
I always think like it's going to start off quite okay into, you know, to Stacy and Julia, congratulations on your wedding day, we love you, but then by the end of the night it's going to be like almost offensive, the stuff you're going to read. And I think that's brilliant, because then you look back and you can see people get drunker throughout your day.
Yeah, it's a bit cheeky. I like it too. It shows personality.
I like a bit cheeky.
You maybe don't show it to your grandma, but you know.
Yeah, maybe wait till you see her anyway at the moment. So. That's true.
You've got a joke, haven't you? Right, let's go neons, because I can see pink neon behind you. I'm a big fan of the neons. A really big fan.
So this pink neon, actually, this is one of our Be Kinds. So this is a campaign that we did to raise money after the tragedy of Caroline Flack. So Charlotte is a huge Love Island fan, and
Same.
I mean, I only watched this last series. That's the only one I've ever watched, and I loved it. And I don't know why I've never watched them before.
And it wasn't even that good, the stuff series, so.
She's a massive Love Island fan. So when Caroline did commit suicide, we just thought, you know what, let's just talk about that. And there was lots of people, lots of companies doing things. And one company that we have worked with before is In The Style, which is a Manchester-based fashion company.
Yeah.
And he's a bit self-made and he's amazing. He does loads of really good charity stuff. So I got in contact with him and I said, you know, we want to help. We want to raise a bit of money and do something. What can we do? How can we do this? I've got this idea on neon. You know, what's the process? So he just gave me a bit of guidance, and we just went through it, and we just we designed a few just the same font. We did a minimal range of colours. They're all the same size, so they're just really lovely, really petite neons that you can literally pick up and move anywhere. This goes here, it's over there, it goes up on my, it goes everywhere. You can just move them around. And so we sold them and we did all of the profits to the Samaritans. So we're yet to send it off because all of our delivery shut down. So we did have bespoke boxes that we were waiting for, that we had a bit of a nightmare with. The company who was supposed to be making them had struggled, so we had to go back to just plain. So these should all now finally be out and gone, so we'll be able to put our donation, which we'll put on our stories. But yeah, the neons are great, and the bespoke neons now are massive. So since lockdown, obviously we can't do weddings, but we're still doing bespoke neons. So we're still working with companies, we're still working with individuals. So people that have got big parties this year, 50th, 40th, 21st, they can't do anything. So we designed a neon for a party we worked with a planner last year, and it was his big 50th, I think it was 50th, and he wanted a neon. So we did his name, and then the established in the year he was born. Nice. And so yeah, it looks really cool. So we've had a lot of those go out the door, and now we work with businesses. We work with quite a few suppliers from the wedding industry that want to get some neons for their as opposed to taking roll-up banners. You can take like a big neon sign to show, stuff like that. So yeah,
I love that. As a wedding show organizer, I would be very embracing of that sort of what's the word, creative signage, rather than the traditional pop-up banners.
One of the first people to take a sign off us was Millie from the White Company, so we did hers.
Very nice.
So yeah, that was cool.
Yeah, bespoke neons are super cool. Actually, I need to get in touch with you about some bespoke neons, so it's on my to-do list.
Email me.
I shall for our new network. So I'd like one for our network.
Yes,
for all our socials and things we're going to be having.
But our brides love them as well, so they're really nice because you can have them at your wedding. You can have them, you can either walk down the aisle, you can have them behind top table, you can have them for a photo booth in the evening, but then you take it home. So
exactly,
we wrap it up at the end of the night, and then we leave it with your venue, and then you just take it home, and they all come with either wall fixings or holes in the top, so you can just hang them with some wire. And they're all super light. They're all they're not a true neon, so they're not gas and glass, so they're really safe. So around kids or animals or just hung on your wall, you don't have to worry about them. They're super cool.
Yeah, they're super cool. It's like an individual piece of art. So like, you know, Mr. and Mrs. Smith at your wedding, fab. But then at home, even cooler.
Yeah.
You know, in your sitting room or in your bedroom, like it's really cool. I would have definitely got involved in that if I was getting married.
Well, I am wanting, we've got like kind of, as you go out our house, the first kind of patio that you step onto in our garden, it just doesn't get any sun ever. Like the back part of the garden does, that's fine. Like the main part that the kids all play in and that we sit in, that's fine. But the front bit doesn't. So I'm going to get like a steel and glass shelter that's going to be totally watertight and covered. And I am totally getting the neons and when we're established and hanging it on my garden wall. I can't wait. I'm literally in my own queue to get my own neon.
She's basically just neoning her whole house. Poor David. Just pink neon. David is like the loveliest husband, isn't he? Like just so patient and kind.
I am lucky because it does take takes a lot of time up, and I like to be there when people want me to be there. And I wouldn't say I'm a people pleaser, but I like to make sure that everyone's happy, and I like to make sure that everyone's got what they want and that they feel comfortable and that, you know, they've got faith in me and us as a business to deliver to them. So yeah, a lot of the time I am like this. So yeah, I'm looking.
Well, if you would like to switch, you can come and live with me and I'll send you Alan.
And then the kids can self-isolate together. It'll be fine.
Yeah, so the offer's there. So, talk us through then the process. You talked a little bit about booking with you. Talk us through like the process of booking with you. So, how couples? What do they do if they want to work with you?
So we have a bit of a signature solution because we think it's really important that everyone gets the same customer service. So whether you've ordered, you know, £2,500 worth of products for your day or £500 worth of products, then we just think that you're just as important as the next. So we have what we call a signature solution that every single bride and client, whether that's corporate or weddings or parties, follow through. So we guide you through every step, and we make sure that all of the processes are ticked off, so you don't have to worry about that. So you know, down to the really kind of nitty gritty stuff of our own public liability insurances and PAT testing and things that we automatically send to venues that we work with.
Yeah, that stuff's so fun.
Down to, which is really exciting stuff.
Love that stuff. Honestly, my favourite part of being an event organiser.
Yeah, before we got our signature solution, you wouldn't believe how many brides would email me saying, oh, my venue has asked for this, my venue's asked for that, and I just think, you shouldn't be getting involved with this rubbish. This is not your thing. So that kind of, I suppose that helped us build the signature solution, really, because we just want your booking process with us to be fun, and we want you to enjoy it, and we want to make sure that you get what you want, and that if you want our help to create something, that we're there 100% of the way to do it, and there's a nice process in place that you will feel comfortable with, that we follow with everybody, that just means you get a really special customer service, and that's important to us. You know, we still believe 5 years on that being part of your wedding day truly is, you know, quite a big honour, and we do consider it as to be a big part of the planning.
Yeah, and so do they? Is the best way for them to sort of find you via your website? Is that how they kind of reach out, and then do you start that process from there?
Yeah, so we have a couple of different processes you can follow. You can go through our website, which you can follow our contact us form, and that will take you straight through to an inquiry that comes directly to us, and then it will then be passed to whoever's relevant branch that you're going to be dealt with, because we ask the questions early doors, so we don't have to keep coming back to you just for little things. Or you can go through Instagram and Messenger. We do sometimes, when we have really busy periods, we have an auto reply on there, just kind of asking you to email us. So we would tend to always drive people, if we could choose a medium for you to come through to us on, would be email and website. And it just means that you just go into our process so much quicker. You enter it quicker, you get a reply quicker, and you kind of get your own file quicker. So you start that signature solution a lot quicker if you come through our website or email.
Yeah, I mean, we've always noticed that you go above and beyond at all our shows and on all our shoots and things. So I think this is just another way that you're doing that for clients, just making sure it's all like easy and it's there and it's ticked off, because there's nothing worse than booking something and then you're not sure what's happening with it and if they're going to turn up, that sort of thing. Because people sometimes don't turn up.
I think another reason that we're kind of so hot on our customer service as well is that we know how important our job is, because it's our job, and we know how hard we work. But in this industry, it is very much image driven. So all we want to do is show people the end product. All we want to do is show people really pretty pictures, which I'm 100% on board with. I love nothing more than a style shoot, because we light up other people's days for a living, and there are certain kind of things that we're having to do for other people that, you know, necessarily we may choose to do differently, but they don't want to go down that road, so that's perfectly fine. But when we get to a styled shoot, that's when we really can kind of let loose, and you can kind of have like an outpour of what you see. And there are a few people that I work with that I think I always get excited when I'm working with them on a shoot, because I think that you work like I do, so you get there, you look at it, you kind of bring a full van and then go for it. Whereas we sometimes struggle with like the planning session beforehand, because when you work with lots of different people on a shoot, sometimes it can get a bit messy. But one of the reasons that I think we did the signature solution, and it's important for us that our brides know their day is important, is because when we first set out with this company and when I first started working, people used to think I only ever worked on a Saturday and a Sunday. and they just used to think I didn't do anything else. Like, if I wasn't in my van lifting heavy letters and up a ladder installing festoon lights, that I wasn't working. And so I thought, you know what, we're going to show people what the process is, and we're going to say, this is what you get from us, and you know, you get that straight off the bat, and this is how we want your experience to be. It's not just a case of chuck your money over and we'll see you in 2 years' time. That's just not how we work.
No, absolutely not. Going back to your style shoots as well, I think part of the really nice thing about a style shoot is you get to meet all different suppliers as well, don't you, within the industry, and kind of see how other people work and take ideas from them and things like that, and you get inspired. Like, I definitely get inspired from you guys as well, from like your new products, things like that, and I get genuinely excited. So when you're talking about your backdrops and your neons in this conversation, obviously it's with an angle for couples watching to be booking you, but we'll have wedding industry people watching this as well, and I don't know if these guys are thinking the same as me, but I'm thinking, okay, that's a good idea, or you know, actually, and I'm starting to get sparks of ideas that kind of from there. I think we always do that, don't we? It's lovely to get creative together.
The style shoots really are amazing in lots of different ways, because it's quite a lonely way to work being a sole trader. And although we talk online and we have a great Instagram and Facebook and, you know, memberships like your founded member, these are all brilliant, but you don't get to see anyone, and you don't get, well, at the minute you can't hug anyway, but you don't get to give anyone a cuddle, and you don't get to like show them that you really, you know, you love the last thing that they did. Or it's all very well making a comment and a love heart and all those things, and of course that needs to continue because we all need to support each other. But it's just really nice to get to see someone and say to them, I'm so excited to be working with you, if you genuinely are, which 9 times out of 10 you are. And it's nice to create together, because a lot of the times when you do get to the wedding, everything's already been done, and then all you're doing is literally putting it together, which is amazing because you get to see that final finished image. And there is nothing more exciting than getting those images drop in your inbox for a live wedding.
Yeah.
But when you do photo shoots and you just kind of see different creations come to life, or it starts off as one thing and ends as another, that's really exciting, and that is really good.
It's really cool. It's really cool. I think with the network as well, that we've started with an Unveiled network, for anyone who's watching, it's a new thing that we've launched. That was born for me out of a need to see each other in person, because that's where it came from, because I hadn't been doing that enough. And I love my style shoot days, even though I'm working on them and, you know, kind of thinking 10 things at once. I love that connection with people. You come away buzzing, don't you? And it's that we want to replicate for the industry. And sorry, brides and grooms, we're just talking about industry stuff here, but it's something I'm really passionate about, getting people, when we can, getting people together, and until then, getting them together in the best way we can online, whether it's Zooms or whatever. But with brides and grooms, we're going to be coming at you big style when we can.
Yes.
We're planning.
The thing is, though, that like your network is full of amazing suppliers that work together anyway on your shoots or in your magazine. And Unveiled is one of only 2 magazines that we advertise in ever.
Don't cry.
Well, it is. And that's just because we don't want to waste our money. We don't want to, you know, put our money into a channel that doesn't get to our bride and grooms, because we want to create products. Like, I was put on a spending ban last year for neon because it was just ridiculous. Our neon collection is massive, and it's going to get even bigger because, you know, there's only so long that I can't buy stuff, and it's just, I'm going to explode. And there's loads of stuff that I've seen. I want to get us some COVID neons, not to celebrate COVID now, but when I say COVID neons, I mean things like maybe we need to look at getting a rainbow. Maybe we need to get things saying like, when the world was asked to stay apart, we stayed together, which can kind of be some sort of a celebratory nod to your previous date in your new day. And so I'm already thinking about different things and sayings, and it's going to happen soon. Watch out for the new neon products coming soon. There's only so long that can last.
You don't just do the bespoke neons. You actually have some neon products that you can hire, like dry hire, can't you? So what are your neon sayings? Because I love your angel wings. They're cute.
Yeah, the angel wings are so lovely, and the kids love them as well as the adults. So we get loads of really funny pictures of kids on adult shoulders, you know, trying to get the picture, or kids picking up kids, like to get them into the shot, to get them into the wings. And it's lovely. It's really nice. And we get some really good bride shots as well. I think out of our higher range, and we have a massive higher range, and they are really super good value. And they range from lovey-dovey soppy to pretty cool edgy. So whatever your thing is, then we've pretty much got a higher neon for it.
So give me an example of one of each end of the spectrum.
So we have Happy Ever After, which is a classic, and we have it in the long. So I'm quite a fan of long flowy neons,
like a loop.
So the Happy Ever After is really beautiful, and it's quite nice, set off centered on our wooden frames with a bit of flowing material or flowers. And then we also have You Light Up the Sky, which of course is pretty, and that's like a purpley pinky colour, so that gives you a little bit of a vibe. But then we also have Crazy in Love. We have Till Death Do Us Party. So the Till Death Do Us Party, I think, is my favourite neon.
Oh, that's a big call.
Yeah, and I think one of the reasons it's my favourite neon is because of the pictures that we get back. If I was just to pick a neon sat on its own, I probably wouldn't pick Till Death Do Us Party. I'd probably pick Crazy in Love, because I do really love the Crazy in Love. I like the saying, I like what it means. But I also quite like the actual neon itself, and that is a stunning neon. We get loads of brilliant pictures. But the Till Death Do We Party, for instance, the one of my all-time favourite images on Till Death Do Us Party. We'll have to cut this image in now, Julia. That could be a task for you.
Oh,
just
no. We're not doing that. Stacey will share it. I can't do that. I have no this is a new thing for me. I have no video editor. I am the video editor.
Cut the picture here.
I'll be cutting
my favourite image is the Holmes Mill, Sarah Glynn, that was in the last Unveiled magazine. Yeah. And the guys who had hired it, they had it on our wooden frame, and there was we supplied the faux minimal ivy foliage just around the edges, and they set it behind their cake table. And their cake table was like an old decorator's ladder, and it was kind of like paint speckled, and it had like various different cakes, different heights, kind of Victoria sponges, scones. There was all sorts there. And the pictures they've got of colouring, of cutting the cake, and it was just so colourful, but it was so beautiful, and it was just so apt. Like Till Death Do We Party, they were cutting cake, they'd been married, they were about to get into their evening, and it's my favourite all-time picture.
It was beautiful. We'll not cut it in because I can't do that, but we will. We will share it though on our Insta straight after we share it.
We'll share it because
if you want to see it in print, issue 14 is now available for sale on our website.
It is in print. I've cut it out. I've got a bit of a pinboard in the warehouse.
You've cut Unveiled magazine up. What?
Well, I do get quite a few of them. I do keep some. But yeah, I've cut them out, and I've got a bit of like a 14-year-old's like inspiration board. So on those cold, dreary days when I'm in the warehouse, I've got my coat, my gloves, and my hat, and I'm thinking, oh God, what am I doing? I can look at that board and think, oh, this is why I'm doing this.
My children cut up Unveiled as well.
I'm not the only one then.
They re-edit it. We call it the re-editing process.
Well, I hope you take their ideas on board, Julia. That's the next generation.
They always leave out my work. They don't like my shoots. They like things that they're like a more traditional wedding image, let's just say. So yeah, they're very princessy in their choices. So what's the best bit of your job then, Stacey?
It's the reveal. Every time it's the reveal, and I'm a bit like you. I don't get to go to the weddings. We rock up at sometimes 5 a.m. at peak times, and we leave as everything's just about starting to get perfect. Or sometimes if you're on a really early delivery with us, we turn up and the room is just empty, and we put our products in, and then we walk away and leave them in a big lonely room. But then obviously the pictures come back once all the other suppliers have gone in. And it's definitely the reveal, because everything else is really enjoyable. And speaking to my brides, I love it. I love being able to help people, and also like give them connections that I've worked with, that, because as much as you might have a vibe and a style to your wedding day, you also kind of need to make sure that your suppliers are on that same page. So you do get different types of suppliers that tend to work with each other, and some people may think, oh, maybe that's like a clique, but it's not at all.
No, it's not.
It's more about my products working with their floristry ideas, working with the stationery style, the stationery style working with the crockery that's supplied.
It's almost a bit more of a natural fit. It's just like attracts like, really, doesn't it?
Yeah, it all fits in. So it's brilliant when I get a bride come to me and they say, oh, I've got such a body for my photography, I've got, such a body for my flowers, and I think, oh my God, this wedding's just going to be epic. Can't wait to see it. And that's at day dot. So already on the first inquiry, I'm thinking, oh, can't wait to see the shot. So yeah, that's the best bit.
Oh.
It's the shot.
And so we're talking about future weddings. So, okay, so we've talked a lot about what we love and what products you have, but what do you think are like, what are your top tips for like the top trends for 2021? What do you think is going to be hot for weddings in terms of what you do?
Colours are definitely coming back in. I mean, a lot of the weddings that we deal with anyway do have an element of colour. We do some white out weddings, which are stunning, especially when you use the white letters. We've done a couple of whiteout weddings at 54 Studios in Manchester, which just looks absolutely amazing. And we do a lot of colour weddings, but colours definitely coming back in. And it's not so much the bright colours. The bright colours are always there for the evening times that come with the neon. But pastel colours are huge. So
great.
It's one of the reasons that we invested in the huge ombre pastel edisons, and we've got more coming, and we've got more designs coming in like kind of pastel coloured wood to go with them. So rather than just the plain exposed wood, we're going to go with like pastel shades on our backdrops. The hexagons, they're still massive. Hexagons are so lovely for a wedding. I just think it's a really nice way to get some sort of a shape that ties your day in, that's really simple and it's not evasive. You know, kind of circles and squares, they're kind of a bit bland, aren't they? So the hexagons are really lovely ways to have your stationery tie in with backdrops, tie in with little buttonholes, things like that. But definitely neon. Neon is not going anywhere, and I'm quite happy with that, not least because it's a huge part of my business. Yeah, not least because it's a huge part of my business. But I get the pleasure of seeing so many images of neons at weddings, and honest to God, you just should not get married without neon. And the only thing I will say is you just got to get it right, and you just need to speak to someone who can help you get it right. And it has to be something that means something to both of you. And everybody loves to get a shot with neon. And I just think it's a really nice way to say something to your bride and grooms without you ever even having to say it. And that's one of the things that I do love about neon. You can really get a message across. And that's definitely going to be a huge trend for 2021. My last and final forecast, I think, as well, is lots of voluptuous fabrics. So like kind of the velveties. We've just, well, I say just, in the last few months, we have got a huge, and I mean huge, like pastel-y coloured, it's not crushed velvet, because crushed velvet is not the way forward. It's like a soft, furry velvet, and it is stunning. And we used it in a recent shoot that I think you're going to feature, actually, Julia. I'm not sure.
Nice.
But when you see it, you'll just be like, wow.
What is it though?
It's just a massive bit of fabric. So we work in a few venues where ideally people would want to hide something. But one of the problems, and one of the things I was trying to get people up to do, is try not to make it too busy. When you're trying to hide something, it's really important not to make the area too busy, because then you end up drawing eyes to it, and then it can sometimes be worse than just leaving it be. So there's a particular venue that we work with that really does need quite a large space hiding. I won't mention it because it sounds like it's a negative. It's not. The venue's beautiful. It's just got a particular wall that's just not brilliant. And we do have available to everybody. You have the standard star cloths, which we do have a star cloth, and they do, you know, they are pretty in the right placement. But for us, they're not ultimately our trend. They're not ultimately where we want to be.
I haven't seen a star cloth for a while. I think we should bring back the star cloth.
Yeah, so we do get lots of brides book them at this particular venue, and they are really pretty and they do work. But we wanted to add something else. We wanted to get a different dimension. So we worked with a material supplier, and they have sewn us this massive, huge velvet, and it's a very pale pastel-y pinky colour, and it's stunning. And anything you put in front of it just pops. Really, I think
really a few things you've said there. Pastels, definitely. Neons, definitely. Velvet, definitely. These things, I'm excited for this return to colour. We were already kind of gearing up for it in Unveiled last issue, and we used more colours in our florals and within the magazine. Just trying to remember. But yeah, I mean, I always judge it on kind of like what I want to do to my house, and I can't always afford to do these things. It's almost like in my ideal head what I would be drawn to. And my house is very, you can see from the background of my office, it's very kind of neutrals. But I'm really wanting to like get the paint brushes out and paint everything like pale pink and pale yellow and pale mint colours. So I think if I'm feeling that in my personal life, I'm like, right, okay, this is the way we're going, because that's always the way it's going. It's like a bit of an innate sense that we have, because that's what we do. So Yeah, I think it would be nice to see.
Yeah.
I think everyone as well would be ready to celebrate and bring some happiness to their celebrations. Maybe, you know, before we were just on this treadmill kind of chic and pared back, and that still really works. But I think that everyone's just going to be so grateful to be gathering, and they're going to want to celebrate that more. So these sort of extras and cool pops of colour and stuff are really cool. Really,
we went through a phase of really bright, really vibrant colours, didn't we?
Yeah.
And that still looks really lovely, and I definitely still think you will see it, especially because there's going to be more people who are now taking up January, February, March times when, you know, the weather is a bit duller, so perhaps you do need a little bit more colour just to kind of lift your day. So you are going to see that, but the pastels I think are going to be huge. Massive. And I'm really excited because I just love a pastel colour. I
think we will see a pocket of bright colours back again. I think you're right, because I think people will be influenced by all the rainbows they've been seeing, and that's a symbol of hope, and it's exciting, and I think that will pocket in the way that we've seen other trends kind of pocket in over time, like there was a rose gold theme that pocketed itself in, which Lola very much fit in with, but that was quite a small very much I thought that would endure for longer.
Rose gold is such a good colour. Yeah, rose gold's a good colour though, because it goes with virtually any colour scheme.
Yeah,
like,
I don't mean
rose gold with blue or black, and it just goes. It looks nice.
Yeah, we see that continuing, but I mean more the trend for like your rose gold tablecloth sequins.
Yes,
you know, that trend that came for a bit, and I thought, oh, this is beautiful, it's going to last for ages, and it didn't. It came and it went really quite quickly. I also think pampas grass as a theme is going to come, and it's been around a bit, but I think it's going to come and go quite quickly in the scheme of wedding trends, because when it's something everyone loves and does, it goes quicker. Its time is shorter than something that kind of ekes out and trickles in.
Because people don't want to replicate. I'm a big for a bamboo. We should just get bamboo down aisles.
Oh yeah.
I love a bit of bamboo. Bit of bamboo and a bit of velvet. I love it.
I love a bit of bamboo. That would be lovely.
I am in love, obsessed with that. But yeah, I do think that the colour is definitely a big thing, and I'm really excited. Yeah, a couple of bamboo plants in some nice wicker pots. So look out for the whole rainbow neon. That's something that I'm working on at the minute, and I'm trying to get it in a slightly more different angled approach than just the bog standard rainbow. So you'll have to keep your eyes peeled for that one.
Exciting.
We're working on it now.
Oh, exciting times ahead. So what about, like, because we're filming this during lockdown, even though we'll keep it on our channel a lot longer than that, because it's all applicable anyway. So what could a couple in lockdown, how can they kind of keep planning with you at the moment? Because they should, right?
Well, definitely they should do, because what you don't want to do is lose your momentum and start getting upset about it, because I just think it is really easy to think, oh, it's such a long way away. And, you know, what you have to remember is that a year in the outside world is a year, it takes forever. But a year in the wedding world, it just flies by in 5 minutes. And, you know, we basically work in seasons. So you've only got a few seasons till you're going to be coming around again. And I think that what is important is what you said at the beginning, is that people are going to find themselves with a little bit more time, possibly a little bit more money. They're going to have to be able, and maybe adjust what it is that they've got on their wedding day. So they may have a specific thing in mind and they've got that booked, but maybe now they can change it or they can alter it. So I would definitely encourage you to get in touch with your suppliers and, you know, say to them, this is what we've got booked. What can we do that will give us something a little bit different or something a little bit additional to what we're already looking at, that, you know, something that you can use in a different way, or something that's going to be, you know, a good value for money purchase. That maybe if you've got a hired neon, then maybe you could look at getting a personalised neon as opposed to a hired neon, and get a hired neon at a discounted rate from that supplier. So, like I would say to all of my brides, you know, if you wanted to have a bespoke neon but you felt like you couldn't because you couldn't afford it, then get in touch. Let's see if we can do it, because if you've already got a neon hired, then we'll do you a fab deal on that one, and we'll get you a bespoke one that you can then take home, and something that you can, you know, kind of keep. And that's what I would say. I would say get in touch with your suppliers, because although they are busy at the moment, because we all have the challenges of trying to enjoy your family time, homeschooling, all of these lovely and weird, wonderful things we're going through at the minute, we still want to work. You know, we're still here to work, and, we want to make sure that, you know, our business is just as amazing when your time comes around as it is now. So get in touch with them and have a chat, and, you know, just give them your thoughts and ideas. And if you've got a good supplier, then they'll react back to you and, you know, kind of give you some ideas, give you some options, see if there's things you can do or change that just kind of take it up a notch.
Yeah, that's a good call. And you do deals for people who get more from you. I can say this from personal experience, because my Georgia, who works with us in the office, she used your neons. She's Charlotte for her wedding. Georgia, I think, started off with one neon. by her wedding day, she got married at a lovely venue called Wolfdale Grange, and it's really kind of rustic chic. It's a really cool venue. And she went to town, and honestly, I was an evening guest at her wedding, and you walked in and it just was wow. There were neons all over the place, and it was such a party. Her husband is from, and George are actually big, but he's from like a big Irish family, so they were all, you know, well away by the time we arrived in the evening, a bit late because we were a bit late. It just looked incredible. But I think she just took your whole stock from all officers for this one day and filled the whole place.
Yeah, I think she did.
But it was really good.
We get a lot of that now, you know, because people used to think, there used to be quite a big preconception that neon was quite gaudy, and it's not.
Oh, no.
It definitely isn't. And today as well, like, we use, well, I can only speak for us, but we use a neon flex. So it's not gas and glass, like I've said before. So the options on neon these days are endless. The colour options, you can tone the brightness up and down, you can change the actual speed that it changes colour, you can have it just on one colour, you can have it on multiples. You know, the choices on neon these days is massive. And people used to think, oh, if I just get one neon, I'll just have it for this time, and I'll just have it for the night time, and blah, blah, blah. Actually, now we have lots of our brides, we have specific neon packages that start at 2 neons and up, because they're just great to dot around your venue, and they're great to create spaces or instruct people, and they're really good for changing the tempo. So you can have this beautiful, very elegant, very chic, very edgy day, and then your guests go out to have their evening drink, and then when they come back into your room, a couple of pieces of neon can totally change the atmosphere.
Just lift it again. It's like surprises throughout the day, just lifting it, isn't it? It's really nice.
You want people to come in, and you want them to get a drink and get on the dance floor straight away. You don't want them to wait until it's nearly last orders and then they just sneak a last dance in. You want everyone to have a good time, and sometimes you just need to instruct people on what to do, and neon's a really good way of doing that.
Get yourself on the dance floor.
Yes.
Need one that does that. So how can couples get in touch with you? So what's your web address? And we're going to drop it onto the screen.
Our web address is www.lovelightstheway.co.uk. You can find us on Instagram. Our Instagram handle actually is lovelightstw. So the way is cut off. Instagram don't allow you to have that many letters. So lovelightstw. Same on Facebook, lovelightstw. Pinterest is a new thing for us this year. It's not a new thing for us. We do have a pin board, but we are going to try and get onto it more this year so that we can help you with more ideas, because we do send images to our brides so they can pin them. But we are aware that it would be easier if we upped our Pinterest game so you could just then follow our board. So that is something we're going to get to this year, so don't worry about that. So you can go on to our Pinterest, which is the same again, lovelightstw, and you can follow us on there, and we'll be up in that soon. But yeah, if you want to get in touch, the best way is to pop onto our website, go to the contact form, and you'll just get into our flow of our signature solutions straight away. And we'll also get you on the mailing list as well, which just keeps you updated with any new products, any offers. We also have a online planner coming out, and it's going to be launched. What month are we in, mate? It's going to be launched for June. So that's a really good thing to get on the website now if you want to get that, and you can get that on your phone.
Exciting times. Thanks, Stace.
Thank you so much for having us.
We could chat all day. We could chat all day. We already had a bit of a chat before we started recording as well, so we could literally be like 4 days later.
Yes.
Julia and Stacy are still talking about weddings. So it's been amazing to have you.
I don't know, she's upstairs somewhere.
Yeah. She's been talking to that lady for 5 days. We want to be back together, don't we? That's the thing.
I know. I miss my cuddles.
Soon. Yeah, we'll be back soon.